What I care most about is human life. Yeah, life in general. I found it. There's a sanctity in life, and I don't know. I see too much suffering. Sometimes unnecessary, but of course, I also believe that there's a creator and there's a reason for everything that happens. But yeah, the thing that I care most about is life, human and non-human. Yeah.
There are many different critical issues facing the world, and they're interconnected, and that there are cascades from one to the other, and they need considered together, which is unbelievably important. It's not just that there's a lot of different crises and that they're moving towards global catastrophic risks, but that they have underlying dynamics that give rise to them that have to be addressed. Why can we not stop this thing? Why is it that literally no country, no company in the world wants climate change? Nobody's like, climate change is the world that I want. But we're orienting to it so fast and we can't stop, and nobody can stop it. Because we all want stuff that requires energy that is driving that thing. And nobody wants species extinction, and nobody really wants to live in a world with automated AI weapons, but we're all racing to build them. So what the fuck is actually driving the world to a world that literally nobody wants? You can think of the global market as a misaligned superintelligence that is already misaligned with planetary well-being and humans, that is running on all the humans while also running all the humans, that also uses all the compute and all the other technology, and that is building all of the narrow AIs in its own service. We said that most of the Nazis weren't Hitler. So the Hitler we're all in relationship to today is this thing, right? You can call it Moloch. You can call it the superorganism. You can call it the mega machine. And that thing has to die. That thing has to die, or the biosphere will die. That thing, with exponential tech at planetary boundaries, self-terminates. So either we're at the end of our species, or we're at the end of our species being defined by those parameters. So I guess I don't want people to think about how to make their own life regenerative, because it doesn't matter. But I want people to think about what it would take to turn the entire arc of humanity, factoring what is currently driving it, and that everything else that you could do doesn't matter at all, because the end of the possibility space of all meaningful human activities is imminent. I do believe we're at the end of history. Like eminently in the lifetimes of everyone in this room, we're at the end of history.
is just so dark what you're saying and what we need to do as society. I mean, digesting this, how can you not become depressed if you really take this in?
I think people should let themselves become depressed. And the reason for the depression at all is because life is actually beautiful and sacred. And the depression is recognizing the destruction of the sacred. So, yeah, I want people to feel the depression and the outrage and the fear, because it means that they are not just deadening themselves and fragmenting inside. But then there's like, okay, well, I'm here and I have some agency, I have some capacity. I can do something about it. I don't know how to yet, but I'm not going to let myself do anything other than figure out how, and then act on that, and then when it's insufficient, figure out how.
Meanwhile, the rest of us, the masses of people struggling to come to terms with the end of history, can see, can feel that what we need is a sense of unity, not an idea of unity, not an ideology of unity. We need a feeling of unity. Feeling is primary.
So if you could wave a magic wand, then what is one thing you would do to improve human and planetary futures?
I would wave a wand that would help every person realize, feel, recognize that we human beings are an utterly interdependent and dependent part of the web of life. And if we got that, if we really got that, and the next generation rising has that, to me that's the best implant that we can put into our hearts and minds that would help us redesign systems so that we actually belong again on planet Earth.
So it doesn't come out of intellectual exhortation. It comes out of a personal act of courage made by the individual. An act of courage which involves surrender. Surrender is the opposite side of the coin of ego. The central issue of our times is our inability to surrender to what we know is right.
A practical thing, I would say, is that your social media feed will continue to show you the same shit, and your bills will continue to call at you, and your media will continue to show you all the things that it does that are all wrong, and your existing obligations will continue to push on you, and that you will not be able to counter that by memory and will alone. You will have to change the feed of what's coming into your awareness, where this comes into your awareness every day. So put the work of the other people that are waking you up or reminding you of things you know, put that on your daily feed somehow. Like literally tonight, start thinking about who you know that reminds you of these things that you can start spending more time around and send them messages. What things you can delete off your phone, what social apps you can just delete, what new ones you can add. Like that's a practical thing. And then recognize that if life was not actually beautiful, meaningful, and sacred to you, you would give no shits at all that it's being destroyed. And so don't act out of anger, depression, and fear. Act out of that sense of the sacred, and that you are in service to a life that is beautiful, to a life with a capital L, a world that is beautiful, and that you're at a time when there is a higher possible consequence of your action than there has ever been for humans. And there is an obligation in that, and there is a meaningfulness in that you don't want to waste.
Let's suppose that you were able every night to dream any dream you wanted to dream. And that you could, for example, have the power within one night to dream 75 years of time, or any length of time you wanted to have. And you would naturally, as you began on this adventure of dreams, you would fulfill all your wishes. You would have every kind of pleasure you could conceive. And after several nights, you would say, well, that was pretty great. But now let's have a surprise. Let's have a dream which isn't under control. Well, something is going to happen to me that I don't know what it's going to be. And then you would get more and more adventurous, and you would make further and further out gambles as to what you would dream. And finally, you would dream where you are now.
Part of the fun of the next 30 years in America will be kind of a disaster tourism. Going to the worst places. There will be many. And you know, I gotta be honest with you.
If money is evil, then that building is hell. This is the most obnoxious group of money-hungry, low IQ, high energy, jackrabbit fucking wannabe.
You remember, this place used to be cool, man. I feel like I'm on a different fucking planet.
Don't be afraid, ever, because this is just raw.
I'll kiss every guy, man and woman, man and woman. Look at that guy, how handsome he is. I'll kiss him. Not with a lot of enjoyment, but that's okay.
I'm so confused. I don't know what to do. I think I'm doing it.
She's a baby, you know, walking around thinking that she can handle shit. This is a delicate fucking ecosystem.
The homeless, the outcast bastards of the barren wasteland. For days and days I fast, fighting over scraps and raps, trapped in a society of the living dead. The tiger inside of me screams. My claws touching the mic for keeps. The rest keeping me up when the shitty city sleeps. A Southside.
If a person forgets an idea that they love, it's a horror. And it could lead to a real yearning to commit suicide.
And action.
But Elizabeth, I have needs, Elizabeth.
Turn around and face the camera, please. Thank you.
Oh, yes. Thank you.
Would you mind, Mr. William?
Miller, a light beer.
What?
A beer for now.
Okay, try it. It is very hot, but I'm happy to do it.
Goddamn phone that we don't even know know how she fell down those stairs.
You want us to get this stuff out back, or how do you,
Yeah. Take it around the side for me, will
Around
you?
the side, sure. Yeah.
Yeah.